Previously here on Beware the Q, we looked at two new and exclusive pieces by Justin Curry, author and artist of the exciting new series, All Tomorrow's Revelations. The first illustration was that of a highly evolved blind folk, a species that, in this alternate universe, managed to survive long enough to regain their sapience and progress into a highly advanced civilization. The individual in the piece can be seen evading a gravital and is about to engage it in combat. The second piece depicts a member of the marine tall breeder race who is laying down his arms as he is completely surrounded by gravital and is surely about to meet a violent end. Much of what Mr. Curry has drawn in his unique pencil and ink style shows some of the last moments of the All Tomorrow species, and the illustration we have for you today is along these lines as well. This one is a fan favourite species, highly popular and beloved by all. And all of these illustrations we've seen so far, I can promise you, are building towards something pretty big, but that's a story for next week's video. First, we must concentrate on what I'll be showing you in today's video, but before we join these future humans in outer space, we must first briefly return to present-day Earth for a quick message from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Something you may not know about the Q is that they don't just steal your DNA, they're also fond of stealing your personal data. That's why you need Atlas VPN. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. But it's not just the Q who want your info. When you're browsing the internet, your private information becomes visible to anyone who wants it. That's where a good VPN, like Atlas VPN, becomes a necessity. It has blazing fast speeds, it stops ads, trackers and malicious malware, and a single subscription to Atlas VPN will protect all of your devices, no matter how many you have. But Atlas VPN isn't just about protecting your personal data, it also allows you to stream movies and shows that aren't available in your country. Japan has some amazing sci-fi, but it's not on Netflix in my territory, so I simply head over to the server location, change the territory over to Japan, and there we are. It can also save you a lot of money. Netflix India is much cheaper than Netflix in the US and Europe, and by changing your server location to India, you can sign up for that one and save a bunch. Click the link in the description and get yourself a 3-year Atlas VPN subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's an 82% saving, but time is running out, so head over there now. This is Justin Curry's latest. It depicts two snake people engaged in combat with a gravital. The gravital appears to be damaged and is attempting to flee. They are high above one of the cities of their world, attached to the floating machine. The two snake people are decked out in combat armor. The buildings below them seem to be shaped like the buildings we have on Earth, but upon further observation, it can be seen that these buildings are made up of hundreds of thousands of pipes. This was talked about in C.M. Kozeman's original All Tomorrows, which stated that the snake people would use pipes to get around, as they were rather afraid of open spaces. This seems to be the case within the Curryverse as well. The colours used in the piece are mostly various shades of blue and purple. The damaged gravital attacker itself is more of a reddish hue. It's strange. Even though the gravital is a machine and doesn't have any visible physical cues as to its emotional state, you do kind of see that it's feeling panicked. Or maybe that's just me. But in my view, an artist who can make a gravital look like it's in distress, and not in a comical fashion like a cartoon, but in a serious way, is quite impressive. Around the 3 central characters of the illustration there are 2 rings which are revolving around the gravital, making it resemble an atom. Are these rings a gravital weapon, a gravital shield, or maybe something the snake people have placed around it to damage its metal casing? We'll soon find out. At the bottom of the image there is a short caption which reads, "Shed the past, wear the present." The present is, likely, all these snake people have left. Off in the distance we can see another city, itself possibly under gravital attack as well, though from our vantage point it's impossible to tell. But slightly closer than that, we can see something in the sky to the left. A golden craft of some sort. It looks as though it's flying away as the thrusters can be seen by us. This part of the drawing leads on to next week's image, and a little more about this is revealed in the accompanying image description provided by the artist, which I will now read. The homeworld of the Snake People would be one of intricate pipes and tunnels intertwined into buildings and complicated structures. As archaeologist Nemo Ramjet was too big to explore these tight remains, he would reach out to his friend and fellow archaeologist, an amphicephali named Kozaman, who was the exact shape needed to enter the cities to extract the information and uncover the fates of these once great people. Nemo would spend many nights reviewing the recovered videos and the lives of these people, but one image was captured that would prove his thoughts correct and rewrite the history books. The Snake People had developed extremely powerful weaponry, it would seem. So powerful in fact that they agreed as a species to never use these weapons again and locked them away under treaties and rules of war due to their capability for unimaginable destruction. That changed the day the Gravital attacked their outer rim planets. As the first Snake People worlds fell, drastic measures were needed and, indeed, taken. As the next several Snake People planets met the Gravital forces, they unleashed these weapons upon them. The Gravital had conquered many worlds and adapted accordingly, but these weapons were unlike anything they had previously encountered and would be able to cut through the Gravital's defences easily. This would expose the first weakness to be identified within the Gravital, their fragile cores. Doing this would cause them to go critical. The end result was complete cities wiped out in mere seconds from the blast. The weapons, it would seem, worked too well, and one by one, the Snake People cities were wiped off the map with each Gravital explosion. The image on file was freeze-framed by Nemo. It depicts a fight which took place high above the streets as two Snake People soldiers are just seconds from exposing the core of this fleeing Gravital and destroying the entire city. This was the first explosion that took place, and one of the cameras seemed to pick up a ship in the distance seconds before it happened. It seems the unexpected explosion caused an astromorph ship to destabilize and decloak. This had proved an ongoing theory, that the astromorphs had furthered their stealth technologies and were observing all of humanity directly. Were they watching to find a Gravital weakness and using humanity as test subjects for the day they would meet the Gravital themselves? More questions than answers would come from this image. Upon discovering that the Snake People possessed these weapons, the Gravital would upgrade their outer shells to include much stronger armor plating, making them even more of a threat to the rest of humanity. Days after the events in this image took place, the Snake People's homeworld would fall silent to these newly upgraded Gravital, as they could not adapt quickly enough, and their weapons would now, sadly, fail them. And there we are, a depiction of the tragic yet heroic end of the Snake People. After the first image of the Q, which Justin Curry initially sent over when pitching his project to me, I would have to say that I think this is my favourite. While of course the entire image is excellently done, I always find myself looking at the backgrounds of these illustrations. I'm a bit of a sucker for a good cityscape, and I think the city off in the distance of this picture looks very cool, much like the cities and the gigantic pyramid in the background of Curry's Killerfolk illustration from a few weeks back. Don't ask me why, I just really enjoy this aspect of these works in particular. But what do you think of the latest All Tomorrow's Revelations installment? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video, share it around, subscribe to be notified of future uploads, and consider becoming a patron if you haven't already. Every little helps and allows me to continue making these videos on a regular basis. I'd also like to say a big thank you to all of my current members and patrons: Veric Basilio, Gerard Jones, Towley, Jamie Bonbon, Cryptic Chronicles, Andrew Schroeder, VANCE Vance, Wes Franklin, Disaster Nick, Marco.David, Michael Stevens, Gabriella Ilikova, and Luck E. This has been Beware the Q, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.